Look at that transition. That was fancy. Is the chat normally over here? I feel like it's normally above my head. I think it'll be fine over there though. I was changing everything in OBS yesterday or day before, so if I sound super weird coming through the wrong mic, you can let me know. I think it's all right. I wanted to clean up my OBS because I'd just been slapping stuff on top of it like every stream. It's like, oh, I put this in, you know, everything was temporarily, but you know how that goes. So I finally cleaned it up. And you know, when you clean stuff up, or at least when I do, it normally breaks things. I've been moving around lately. In the Hangout streams, I'm usually over here, but like when I bring other people on, sometimes I move around. I'm pretty sure the chat was normally above me, but I had considered doing some other stuff. Honestly, I might move. We'll see how it goes if it needs to move. But anyway, hello, hi, here we are. It's Wednesday. We're hanging out. Minty Paws, hey, I don't know if I've ever caught you in a stream before or not. I've seen, you know, a couple comments here and there from you on the channel. What are we going to do today? So, the desk behind him is new. Yeah, it's moved. So normally Wednesdays, I try to make my day off. Like it's a whatever the heck I want to do today on Wednesdays. So if I'm around the house and it's like, I really want to play a video game, that's what I'm going to do. Or if there's a project I really want to work on, that's what I'll go do. There's no obligations on Wednesday is the idea. That's my kind of give myself a break. So today we are just hanging out, streaming. I enjoy the Hangout streams. I don't consider them work. Whereas something like Moss and Stone kind of is, which is unfortunate. Because I do have a lot of Moss and Stone things I want to talk about, but that is for tomorrow. So speaking of, Twice Dead isn't here yet. I kind of wanted to get his opinion too. I did find out just yesterday, kind of midday, weekend Wednesday, yeah. Well, you know, middle of the week, break it up. I found out there's a call I'm going to need to be in tomorrow at my noon, which is usually right when Moss and Stone starts. I was like, dang it. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to just push it out an hour, about an hour and a half, or just wait for another whole other day. But yeah, Mitch Paul's glad to have you around. If I remember right, I think what finally brought you out of the woodwork was you're a big Pathfinder fan, right? And I forgot what the video was. It was something about classes or general mechanics or something, and you were like, as a Pathfinder fan. So, I think that's what got you coming out. We did see the Mario movie. Going to see Project Hail Mary soon. Yeah, the Mario movie was a movie. It was a movie. Anyway, I brought up an old board that we worked on a while back, and so I've saved a bunch of different boards, these Excalibur boards, and you know, they're like tip board 1, tip board 2, tip board 3. I need to go through and clean them out, but I love how every single one of them has some food pics from Blaze. Every single one of them. Oh man. So anyway, no, there's a couple things to go over today, so highly recommend Project Hail Mary, easily my favorite movie of the year. Hope it sweeps at the Oscars. All right. I actually recently read The Martian and then saw the movie too. I did not care for the movie of The Martian. The book was infinitely better in my opinion. And I know that's normally the kind of the take usually. But I feel like even if I had not read the book and saw that movie, I just kind of would have been like, meh. Wushu was here. Wow! Wushu. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Dang, how are you, man? How goes things? I'm surprised your avatar is not a funny looking cat. Unless it is, and it's just like really small. Behind the scenes video saved for after we see it. Oh, cool. Cool. So I did have, I can't really call it an epiphany, a thought we will say, a few days ago. Wushu! Yeah, that's how you say that name. Wushu! I know we talked about this not too long ago. There's twice did. We talked about this not too terribly long ago. About like, what am I going to do with the channel? What kind of videos am I going to focus on? All that drama and nonsense. And it's like, YouTube themselves are telling me to stream more. The funny monocle man. Yeah. We'll get into that some a little bit. But YouTube themselves are wanting me to stream more. Like that's actually the call I have tomorrow. Is they're doing these little group things and I'm part of it. And they're like, we want you to focus on streaming because we see your potential there, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, well, I like streaming. I just didn't think it was that popular with the masses. But if you say so, I mean, if anybody knows, it would be you. So, like, I will focus on streaming. And February was when we picked that up, and I did a lot of streaming that month because they set some target goals, like, hey, try and do this. And I let videos kind of not completely go to the wayside, but I decided, well, I'll make a video when I can, since I'm just going to focus on streaming. And I noticed what was happening because I was working on that big long ADHD video, or that adventuring family video, which, you know, was about ADHD, autism, and all that. I was working on that behind the scenes, and I noticed like a lot of old videos were getting cycled through. Like new people were finding them and coming to the channel. So I was like, okay, the streaming thing works. And that's great because I needed less pressure on the videos. I needed more time, you know, go do the writing and stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to continue down that route, but I was trying to figure out what videos to make. And I decided, okay, when I have something to say, you know, I'll make a nice video. That way I can make it the way I want and actually make a point, blah, 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 blah. Well, I had the realization a few days ago, I really don't have beans to say. So, I kind of get it out of my system on the streams. Like, I'll have a little something to say. Somebody will ask me like, hey, what do you think about such and such? And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, we'll go take a tangent and I'll get to say my piece, do my temporary soapbox, and then we all move on with our lives. I feel like videos are supposed to be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for, professional or purposeful. Like they're supposed to be a message. I know not every video is supposed to be like that, but that's how I feel like mine are supposed to be. So like if I don't have a important message to give, it's like I'm not gonna make the video. So then I realized, well, I have a lot of good things to say on other people's work. It's like when we do the reviews, and I know the reviews don't gain a lot of traction, but that is a good way to help lift other people up, which is what I wanted to do anyway. So this week I'm sure I will change my mind in another week or two. I am going to just kind of focus on review videos while still doing the streaming thing, like getting people on here to talk about their stuff and show off what they're working on, which another tangent here in a second. So all that to say, my next video I am going to do a review on Outgunned because we just played that. That's super fun. And like right as I was making this decision, 3 or 4 people just reached out and emailed me and like, hey, really need you to review this, got a Kickstarter coming up. So I'm like, okay, the universe is telling me this is what I need to do. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do review videos. And if I ever have something to say, like if something happens that needs addressed or, you know, something going on in the community that's worth talking about, I'll make a video about that, a little thought piece. But as far as writing goes, all those videos are like, write what you want. Like, here's some tips and tidbits. But at the end of the day, write what you want because there is an audience for everyone. That is something I have learned, and it never ceases to amaze me. No matter what you make, there is an audience for you somewhere. So what difference does it make whether I think it's good or bad, right? And then trying to talk about what is and isn't good writing is just kind of gatekeepy, poopy. I don't know. Let's see. I gotta catch up on some chat. Wushu with the broken heart. Funny monocle man. Yeah. We like the funny monocle man. I like the blob. Actually, I like everything she made. Let's see. Blaze is in the chat throwing beans without cornbread. Happy birthday from Sig. It ain't my birthday yet, buddy. You got another month. Actually, yeah, next. You got exactly a month and a day. Subject focused, says Wisp. Oh, it's your birthday today, Sig. Well, happy birthday. No, actually, it's me and Cammy that have the same birthday, if you remember her. Subtle way to plug your birthday. I have a lot of good things to say about other people. They're a wonderful incentive for me. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, people... The ttrpg review videos do not... Well, see, and that's the reason I wouldn't make them. I say they typically don't get a lot of traction, but some of my highest viewed videos are ttrpg reviews, but they're like more popular systems like EZD6 and Mouse Ritter, so it's like, you know, do I really need to review ones that are popular? I mean, maybe just to get a little traction here and there, I could do that, but like the idea is the lesser known ones, and it makes sense why those don't gain a lot of traction, but the people that do watch those really, really, really appreciate those videos. And of course, the people that made those games that are getting reviewed really appreciate them. So I'm going to do that, and I might kind of do a little tangent here and there and like just talk about a specific game's world building for a whole video. Like, you know, if it's just something I want to gush over, like, because, you know, I am the writer, so if somebody makes a super cool world, like, I might, you know, might want to gush about that for a little while in a video specific for it and talk about some adventures you could make in it or something, or just why I think this world is cool, or maybe do there's some really old videos I've done that's world building with X, where X is a random spell from D&D or something, and it's to see, it wasn't to bash D&D, but it was to show like, hey, here's how one little spell can just completely dismantle a world. You know, just little things to consider, but it's still fun to have, right? So we could do world building things like, hey, you know, what would this world really look like that this person has made, like if we explored it farther. The slime always makes you hungry. He is pretty tasty looking. Let's see. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But, and the super beneficial part about that is that takes a pretty significant load off of me. Because review videos are very straightforward from my end. Like, I know what needs to be in the video. It's like, okay, you know, I talk about a little bit about the author, if I know them, where they came from, why they made this, then I talk about their actual physical book or PDF, and then the setting, and then I get into the mechanics, and then I talk about my experience playing it. So there's a formula, I guess you could say, for it. Like, I have a definite goal, whereas I try and do a thought piece or something, I get all over the place. Which is another good reason why it's just a good way, or it's good to get that out on a stream, because I don't have a time limit. I'm just here rambling, and if y'all want to listen, you can. If you don't, you leave. So it works out. The Avatar Last Airbender video, or Avatar Last Airbender video, now that the movie got leaked. Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. I imagine the whole post was bots and the whole thing was just a publicity stunt, but supposedly, yeah, it got leaked and was super good. I want to see it. Monster ecology would world building be cool. Yeah, but it's like world building's fun. Like, so maybe we'll do world building streams. I don't know. It's something else we do. And you know, I could be taking some of these streams and like cutting them up and making little tidbits. I do want to start doing some shorts. I got kind of inspired by this lady I found recently. Normally I have shorts 100% blocked, but I somehow came across this lady, and she makes long shorts. She takes the full 3 minutes you're allowed to do in shorts, and she does like science and history tidbits. And I went through her work and realized, oh, she was making short long form videos, and then essentially just took those videos and just cropped them to look like a short and posted the entire video as a short, and it's working wonders for us. So I was like, okay, I want to make some long shorts that are creative challenges, like lay out a room for you on a tabletop, and it's like, oh, you know, here's the room, here's what it looks like, here's what's going on in it, here's what's inside of it. The players just got locked in here. You tell me what the trap is and how they solve it with what I gave you in that room. So little things like that, or some world building stuff. You know, just little brain ticklers, get you working. There's Kairos. Hey, I'm glad you're here, man. I have not forgot about you. Now that I know you are the same one in the Discord, we are still gonna look at your diceless TTRPG system. I got a little swamped over the weekend, was what I was just telling people, or telling the stream a few minutes ago. Everybody decided to reach out because they got Kickstarter starting, and they're like, hey, review my stuff. So, don't worry, you are not forgotten. Now, I did make that change in the server recently. I can talk about people's stuff now. Let's see. Squirrel safe. What is Squirrel safe? There's like 10 projects from Tome of Light. There's yours, Project 8IO, Universal Diceless TTRPG. And then Mystical Adventure RPG by Sun Loki. That's the Dragon Ball one. I'm surprised, and After Ash was the first one to mark something. I'm kind of surprised more people didn't jump on that, marking it as a Squirrel safe. So, like, there's a Transformers RPG right there we could look at, but it's not marked. I don't even know if they're in the server anymore. They might have left, honestly. Oh, Wisp, you're in here. Why didn't you mark yours? I see that's your Dark Mecha RPG. I guess I'm talking about it, but I'm not showing it. So I'm just teasing people at this point. Oh, I see you in the Twitch chat. Is that not coming over on the in the app? Is it not picking up my Twitch chat for some reason? It doesn't look like it. All I'm getting is the YouTube chats. Well, that's weird. It's supposed to be getting both. I wonder why. Anyway, also Glee's having troubles. I don't know what she's doing. Glee, did you get auto-translated? Oh yeah. If I hover over your message, it says AO. Oh, Wushu's testing. Yeah, that's weird. You don't, you're not coming through the multi-chat thing. That's strange. I mean, I got both windows open, but yeah. That is, no spamming. Let's see. I wonder if, let's see. Let's try. Let me close it there. Let me open it here. I wonder if, because that was like through OBS, it still should have been recognized. Well, I could see why maybe that didn't work. All right, Glee or Wushu, send another Twitch chat. And we'll see if it comes through. If not, we're not gonna worry about it. Or I guess I could. So much spam. Okay. Alright. That fixed it. There we go. Alright. We're good. We're good. I know what I did wrong. It's interesting that works that way. Let's see. I really need to slap together a white paper instead of the formatting I was doing. I mean, you know, Dave Grimwood, he loves starting with the layout and kind of working backwards. A couple other people I know do too, and excuse me, can't think of the name. Thinking of sharing mine, or it ain't nearly done enough. That's all right. I don't want to pressure anybody. It's just I want to just be able to grab something randomly and pull it over here. Random spotlights. I will say Kairos. Am I saying that? Is it Cyros or Kairos? Either way, they got the diceless one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, AIO. And I did pop it open and start skimming like when they originally posted it. It's very well laid out. You know, all properly formatted in Google Docs and everything. It was very nice. Makes my life easier. Oh, let's see. Hey, Wushu, or not Wushu, I'm sorry, Twice Dead. Like Cyrus, but with an O. Okay, Cyrus. Gotcha. Twice Dead. Our Moss and Stone stream's getting interrupted tomorrow. I have a call to attend to at 12. How do you feel? Well, 12 my time, which is normally when Moss and Stone starts. How do you feel about starting the stream an hour and a half later? I started to make an announcement this morning, but didn't. I was like, I thought I'd poke a few people, see how they feel. Plus, I am waiting on an email from YouTube saying whether or not this call is going to happen. They acted like it was a done deal, but like, check the newsletter when it comes out so you can have your link to join. And it's not in the spam box, and it's still not here, so. Anyway, so why you ask? I mean, you're like my biggest Moss and Stone fan. That's why. And look, all right, before we get to talking about art over here, I should save this for the Moss and Stone stream. But I'm terrible at waiting and holding secrets, so I gotta find it. I reached out to Sean Bova, who is the artist for Easy D6, and I was like, look, man, I'm making a playset for Easy D6. I need some art. So, I don't know if y'all remember the one-shot we did. Let's see, let me find... Jack Redmere was an adventuring mouse in that one shot. He was just at the beginning. He wasn't too big a part of the one shot, but he was very much a big part of the short story that I wrote for it. Let's see. Tokens. There's old Jack. So, you know, random picture we used for his token. And then this is currently what Sean Bova's working on. Yeah, look at that. This is going to be so cool. We decided he was a little puffy, but that's another modification we did to him. So, woo. And for those of you who don't know, let's see. To give you an idea what Bova's work looks like here. There's a picture I like. Where did it go? Wow, there it is. When he gets it all filled in, it looks like that. You know, it's got all that cool shading going on and stuff. So imagine that, but with the mouse over here. The one recently, no, this one was a little whiles back. It was the caravan escort, where they started off in a little tavern in a small village and had a couple wagons to escort and found some moles and Barnaby and all that. So, Rat Knights, it's a mouse. He's a little mouse adventurer. How dare you call him a rat? Yeah, he's a little mouse. Very cool character though. I like. Yeah, I love Bova's artwork. It's so cool. I was very glad that he was excited to do this project. And he's like, yeah, I've been wanting to draw some, you know, bipedal animals and whatnot. So that'll be cool. So I was also, yeah, there's Bova's right there. Bova Scribbles. What was I going to say? I was thinking, bad as this sound, was thinking about Nuts the other day. Nuts being the ttrpg that I need to make a Kickstarter for. And I think, you know, sometimes when I get to big brain and I got to use paper and pen. And then my notes just fly everywhere. That's the wrong page. Well, I thought I wrote it down on here. This is all YouTube stuff. Well, not there. Let me check my tome here. See, this is why I try to do stuff digital, because then I write it down and I can't find it. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Well, it's gone forever. Oh, wait. No, it's not. It might be right here. There we go. I thought I had something worth mentioning. I guess not. Well, that's disappointing. Still want to have a bunch of handcrafty stuff that people can buy for the Kickstarter. So we have, like, you can get art like this made for the different shells. Was it on a sticky note? No. The day of anime horse girl game is taken. Oh no, not you too. I got a friend who's been playing that a lot. We might have, yeah, the shells, standard character examples. One thing we forgot to do on here, another pledge they could have, is making custom items. Items in the sense of like gear and stuff you can get, weapons and whatnot, and then custom items that are for the item eater shell specifically, and then vehicles. We didn't even touch vehicles, so I feel like we got a lot of different pledge and art things we can do. Then as far as the physical goods, I would like some acorn and nut themed things. That one I gotta go down the rabbit hole. Whoever had the laser etching on wood and various objects idea, I think that'll be a good one, because I think this style of art will be very easy to shoot with a laser onto something, from what little I know about that line of work. So I need to reach out to the lady who made these, which is Peter's wife, and see how willing she is to make a whole bunch of art and from prompts from various people across the world. So I think she'll be fine. She sure had fun making these, because like these were just little one-line prompts. Like I said, you know, a medieval knight in European style armor or something like that, and she decided to do the strawberry thing. I just wanted an RPG adventure slime, and she decided to make him a donut with sprinkles on all that. And I forgot what the prompt was. I think just a steampunk robot. So it's definitely worth mentioning. Yep, you know, you think you're you think you're smart, and then you find out you're not. That's why we're not going to make those other videos. We're going to focus on the smart people who actually made something, and we'll just talk about why it's really good. Oh yeah, if you don't know what this is Excalibur. It's free. It's browser based, and you can save it locally, so you can have your file and drop bigger things on it, like I do. You ever play the Nuts card game? If that's what I'm thinking of, I saw it at Gen Con. Acorn and nut merchandise. Yeah, I wanted to reach out to like some people on Etsy and be like, hey, would you be willing to make potentially a bunch of thing? Clockwork robot. Hey, who doesn't like clockwork robots? They're awesome. Let's see, but Nuts the card game. If it's the one I'm thinking of. I don't even know if y'all can hear that music. Is this it? Just called nuts? The one I saw, it had like a little board you played on, I think, and the idea was to like, I think you were trying to avoid a fox the entire time. Getting actual little whisper stones would be fun too. That's a different Kickstarter. That's Moss and Stone. But that would be cool. Too advanced for your taste, your clockwork robots? I mean, I could see that, but they're still cool. That's it? Okay. Yeah, but is this the one that has the board where you're dodging the fox? You're trying to avoid that, and there's like the little squirrel dens, and you can get more squirrels and whatnot? Or is that a different one? If it's that one, yeah, I saw them at Gen Con and went over to their table and had a little chat with them. Nuts. Man, my nose is just... Recover your... No, that's a different one. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. Nuts board game. Oh, that's the war game. Can you hear the music? Galvanically reanimated corpses like Frankenstein. Hey, yeah. Hey, there's that orcish guy. Man, I just threw out all the business cards from Gen Con 2 like 3 days ago. And I think I had his. The one called Racing Nuts. Let's see. Board game where you play as squirrels avoiding a fox. Nut Hunt? That was it. Okay. This is the one I was thinking of. That's what I saw at Gen Con. Let me put it over here. So I don't know about this other one, just called Nuts. No, I wasn't showing my webpage. I was just looking for a picture to put on there. Don't have a business card. Glee used to. She had fancy ones from a job she used to have. Matter of fact, it used to be over there on the wall. It is not there anymore. Territorial Squirrels. It was pretty neat. But like, I don't really do board games. Nothing against them. I just never really got into them. So how does Nuts work? Old deck builder. Chocolate nut. Look at that. Alright. Let's see. What has a watermark? The nuts. Sequence, aggravation, and mousetrap. Oh man. I don't know if I ever actually played Mousetrap. You will need some more with your brand new branding, your brand new LLC. Glee has gotten so fancy. Nuts card game is a fun little party game where your goal is to collect a certain number of nuts before anyone else. As you do, the different nuts have different values. Very cool. Oh yeah, I can see it right there, worth 2 nuts. Looks like the chocolate one's worth 4 nuts. I can dig it. I did not get the reference, I sure didn't. And I still don't, but that's okay. Why am I beeping? Let's see. Oh, Wushu made it to the server. Alright, I guess I'll make him a member. I guess. You legally exist now. You do, you do. There's a cat picture from Lucia. I will say, I will make a quick plug for somebody here. Oh, I'm thinking about it. This guy. My chat's in the way. Alright, we're gonna move chat. I liked it above my head better. Let's see. Where is chat? Chat. It's the one that says chat. There we go. Alright. So the guy who made my squirrel here, Mr. Igmani.art. If y'all need some work, he's looking. He's needing some. It's not a scam. Like all the Discord messages you get. Like, hey, times are hard. I really need some. I need some stuff. Need some commissions. He says they've just been really slow of late. He's been having to go do a little job hunting because commissions are low at the moment. So he does good work. I had a super fun time working with him. We can pull up his site here. Let's see. He has been a delight to work with. He makes some super cool stuff. Looks like he does some black and white stuff, so. You may draw you a goofy cat. What is the Whispering Teapot? Weird. Haven't seen that one. Hansel and Gretel. Oh. Commission an actual wisp icon. There you go. Yeah, he does good. Like I said, he was super good to work with too, because like I didn't know what I wanted. I was like, dude, I just need a squirrel. Like, and what he did was, you know, he had his contract and everything, said what he'd do, and he ended up sending me a sketch of like, it was one design, but in like 4 or 5 poses. You know, kind of low detail. It was just solid gray. And then we hopped on a call. It's like, okay, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. And he was just sitting there trying a couple different things. And then when he had a better idea what to go on, he's like, okay, I'm going to go do this for a while. And then we met up again and made a few more changes. Let's say, can I find like a really old picture? Let's see. From Ignacio. Da 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 da. Whoa, what a chain. That's his terms of service. We don't need to look at that. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, how do I? Can't see my own keyboard. So this is what we started with. I see now why I tried putting my chat at the bottom over there. Where did the squirrel mascot thing come from? It's a long story, which we will get into after I show this off. Blue deer head. So this is what we started with. You can see the difference here. Let me put this guy on top. Like the ears were way back here. It's kind of rabbity looking. It was still a neat character. And you might even recognize some of the poses that we kept. We liked the big bushy tail. So, you know, I looked at it and was like, okay, you know, the ears ain't cutting it. They gotta shrink a little bit, come farther, like down and forward a little bit, so it's less rabbity. Yeah, and we squared out his tooth. You could see how it was round here. So we squared that up. Did we... Let me go get... Excuse me. Squirrel pictures. I say we. He was doing all the work, not me. Where's the one with the book? Oh, Here's the one with a book and no tail. So you can see his nose changed a little bit too. That's right, and we kind of like squared out the tip of his head there, or nose. Yep, and then we had a few different. We got the ears straightened out and everything, and then at some point it's like I feel like he's bald, like he needs some kind of hair thing going on, and we had a few different hairstyles. Those were pretty fun. It was like kind of mohawky looking. I was so mad at him. We were in the call. When we were trying different hairstyles, I made a comment about a squirrel with a mullet, and he started drawing it. I was like, "Daggum it, don't you do that?" The problem is, it actually looked not good because I don't think a mullet ever would look good. But for the character, it's like, dang it, that's actually kind of funny, but I can't commit to it. Scratch Persona took some tries. Yeah, there we go. Y'all killing me with that mess. Good energy in those lines. Music down a bit. Oh, did it get loud? I'm sorry. The rabbit era. Tail of Squirrel. He is real. Igmani_art. Yeah. So his name is Ignacio something something. Like Igmani is like the first couple letters of his each name and his full name. But yeah, it's Igmani. .art or _art. So yeah, you can see like a lot changed, but not a lot changed at the same time. So it was just little details here and there, and like that little with the hair on top of his head really rounded it out, brought it together, squaring up his teeth. It's just little things, but like I said, he was super fun to work with. Super nice guy. And he had a lot to work with because it was me. So I'm difficult. And he pulled through, so. I'm difficult in the sense I never know what I want. And I'm bad at making decisions. What's up, Builder B? Mohawks are a good choice. Your unbiased opinion. He did have a pretty good in one of them. Let's see, can I find it? I can't. What do I even do different in this one? Okay, these were some minor ear changes. Let's do this. Yeah, so not a whole lot changed there. Just some little ear detail. Oh, and that's the round, we squared up the tooth in that one. Yeah, small. The ears were still in the wrong spot, but we gave them a little shape. Yeah, we took away the roundness of them. Used to cut my hair bald twice a year because I couldn't be out there. Hey, if you don't mind being bald, that's the way to go. Let's see. And here's some hair options. Yeah. Hang on, we got. Whoop. So yeah, that one was a little more floppy. And I'm glad he was doing the multiple poses, because sometimes, you know, you look at one pose and you're like, oh, that's good. And then you draw it in the other pose and you're like, oh, no, I don't like that. So that was good on his part. And this is pretty close to what we have. Yeah, the big mohawks were done on the call, so. Oh, yeah, and then here was some... I'm just showing all his work here. Hope he doesn't mind. Here was some early color options. Because I got used to just seeing the gray squirrel. I was like, I like that. The face shape changed a bit at some point. Yeah, it kind of like he got more jawbone, I think. Or not, yeah, because you can see that curve, this line here, because that made me think he looked like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, that head shape, and I was like, that's not gonna do it. Yeah, he squared up a bit here when we started putting hair on, because that was the problem when we don't have it here, but when we got the ears down here, that's when he really looked bald with that head shape. So it's like, okay, we got to do something and give him a little hair. Yeah, the color part was hard. That's where I really struggled. And like those are cool, but it's like I've been using a gray squirrel in the videos, so it needs to be a gray squirrel. Otherwise, like, yeah, these would have been, you know, real nice loud colors or something. I would have been fine with that. Oh yeah, and this was another thing. This was after we got the color done. The eyes, we started with them being that yellowish, ambery kind of color. Squirrel Avatar looks really handsome, especially with the tuft of hair on his head. I think so too. Yep. And I was like, oh yeah, the where the shadow is too on his eye, I think changed a little bit for that specifically. Yeah. Yeah, we brought the shadow up more, and then I was like I'm down for color in his eye, but it's not looking right, so let's just stick with black like we had over here on the sample color things. So, and that was it. That was it. Then he sent me a few different poses of finals. You haven't seen my final form. The shading threw me off. Yeah. That's right, because these guys aren't shaded, and then he is over here. Yep. Change is scary. Yep, but we got there, and he looks cool. He grew on me. But man, it was hard, because I was like, I like my badly cropped squirrel, and so does everybody else. But like, I also understand it's good to have the brand and all that, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, going back to Smug's question. Where did the squirrel thing come from? So, years ago, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Not really, because it was still here. I've lived here almost my whole life. Guess I was maybe 10, 9. I was pretty young. Definitely wasn't even a teenager yet. And I was just sitting there at church, Sunday school. We were in this big old church, and the way they did Sunday school was they just had all these round tables in a gym, and you just went with your age group. So I was at my little age group at church, and everybody was snacking on their snacks, and I didn't have one, and I was kind of hungry, and somebody went to go take a bite of their snack or whatever and dropped it. And like as soon as it hit the floor, I snatched it and ate it, because I was hungry. And the kid made a comment. You know, I was real quiet, never said anything to anybody. So to see this quiet kid just snatch food up as soon as it was available kind of took them by surprise. And, you know, the kid was like, oh my gosh, it just came out of nowhere like a freaking sewer rat and ate my food. And sewer rat just stuck. Like, I was sewer rat from then on by these people. Which, small neighbor, or small town, so it spread out. Everybody knew me as sewer rat when the squirrel went berserk. So sewer rat stuck. Everybody started calling me that. And I was like, I'm fine with it. It's kind of a fun name. And I kept sewer rat all through high school. And when do I have that hat back here? I got a hat that says sewer rat. I had it made. And I kept that name for a long time. But, and me and my buddy were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. I had two buddies I would always hang around. It was my buddy Nate and my buddy Ben, who also had the name Ben. And we were all, you know, when we all got together, we just giggling, being stupid. Somebody got to talking too fast and talking silly. And, oh, hey, I figured she'd bring the hat. There we go. So, thank you. I had this hat made when I went off. Yeah, I think when I was off at school in Nashville. Whoop, turning it the wrong way. Sewer rat. It was a good hat. The bill is completely broken though. I don't know if you can kind of hear that crunching. The body of the bill is no more. So it's broken, but I still hang on to it. But anyway, talking, being silly, and somebody jumbled the words and said sewer scrat. And we were like, scrat? Well, that's kind of cool. So we went with sewer scrat for a little while, and then it just became scrat for short. And that happened during high school, but you know, I just kind of, sewer rat was my official name. Sewer rat was my official nickname, and then scrat was a nickname. And then Ice Age came out. And we're like, hey, that little squirrel character, little rat thing's really cool. What's his name? Oh, it's Scrat. Well, that's neat. And then we found out Scrat was actually this Scandinavian folklore thing. That was a troublesome little critter that could shapeshift and do all this fun stuff and harass farmers. So Scrat overrode sewer rat. Even though I was sewer rat probably till... I wore the sewer rat hat because I worked in shops for a while, like my early 20s. And then somewhere sewer rat faded. I don't know exactly when or where, and it became just scrap. Or fully, so I can, you know, the Scrat username is always taken, but Scraticus is usually not taken. So Scraticus became the thing. But then when I started the YouTube thing a few years ago, I was like, well, you know, my online presence everywhere. I have another hat that says Scrat. I don't like this one though. It doesn't fit my head near as good. It's also like kind of stiff. But anyway, everywhere online that I was going by Scrat, I would use the little Ice Age creature. And then when I started the YouTube thing, I was like, well, I can't use that because I don't own that. And that was, I think Disney bought it like very shortly after I made my YouTube channel. So I was like, I sure as hell can't use that. I gotta get in trouble. It was already squirrel adjacent. Sewer rat, it's a rodent, squirrel's a rodent, and then the rodent from Ice Age that I was already being was very squirrel-esque. So I was like, all right, I'll just fully lean into squirrel. And I hate so much, but love at the same time, how accurate the squirrel is to how I am. Just, you know, really squirrely and constantly forgetting things and easily distracted, and it's very skittery. You know, there's a lot of crossover there that I hate and adore at the same time. But it worked out. So that's where the squirrel came from. That is where Scrat came from. Scrat, sewer rat. Sua, as the kids at school used to say. Sua. Trade school, anyway. It fits you. But anyway. Invasive gray squirrel is out. Yeah. Yeah, it turns out gray squirrels are very dominated. So, that is the lore. You might have found it exciting, you might not have, but that is what it is. So, I mean, I am an evolving rodent. We never noticed. Yeah, right? So anyway. Look at them squirrels. So yeah, go hire him for something. Tell him I sent you. What else we got going on here? He won't give you a discount, but you know, he just might be like, oh cool. Since it's super rare, how are you planning to publish? Oh, did you ask that? Yeah, I got lost in the chat. How do you plan on publishing Nuts? Are you going to make a game company or just directly under your name? What are the benefits either way? Well, I couldn't tell you that, but the idea, because Nuts was never supposed to be anything beyond just something to hang out or use hanging out with me and my buds. I was fine with just a pay what you want thing, throw it up on DriveThru, just a PDF. You know, I thought it would be super cool if it became a physical product. To do, we've talked about it, the spiral bound thing, where a spiral bound book with really thickly pages because it's so small, and then each page is a concept, so you just can flip to what you want real quick and slide it around the table if you need. Ideally you don't need it, but just a pay what you want deal. And then I thought about making modules for it that were like 99 cents or $1 or something, kind of like TriCube. Zadmar's doing with TriCube in his one-page settings. Thought about that. So yeah, it would be on DriveThru as pay what you want. I'd put it on my coffee thingy or whatever if I'm allowed to. I don't know DriveThru's rules. Put it on my buy me a coffee place and various places like that, or just set it in a Google Drive folder and be like, hey, I made this, go have fun. As far as making a company name or something, I don't know. I guess you kind of need to, because I do plan on making more games, so it needs to be under something other than BIM. Maybe we'll make a Kesho Knight Legends game company. I don't know. Moss and Stone would be under the same name. Whatever it ends up being. Just for ease of find. So, and and this is the problem, right? Like, I got a lot of other ones I want to make. Other games, like whole other systems. Scratworks. Yeah. I did try and make a channel called Squirrel Works. Actually, I might have. I think I did get that. It was going to be for SolidWorks, which was the CAD software I used. The domain SquirrelWorks is not available though. Surprise, surprise. Scratworks might be good though. I kind of like that. Scrat's nuts. Anyway, there's other games that I want to make, but that takes a lot of time, and I'm also supposed to be writing books at the same time, right? So, and making YouTube videos. That was, you know, bring it all the way back to the beginning of the stream. That's why ttrpg reviews will take a big burden off, because it's like, oh, okay, I have a direct line of sight for what the goal is. I don't have to like think too hard. Because those ones come very naturally to me. It's like, okay, here's how we do a good review. Because I've got a bit of a teaching background, so the ttrpg reviews kind of lean on that as far as how I make a video to present something and get a point across to people. Like, hey, here's the information you need to know to make a decision on this product. So I guess I can't say it comes naturally. It's just I have experience in that regard, right? And which I get to lean on and make my life easier. So that lightens that burden. And streaming, of course, we don't just show up and hang out. Like, I do some behind the things preparation and stuff, but it's still much easier than making a video. So that clears up time for more writing. And then on the writing front, I should be having a chat with somebody next week about the next book. Can we get a peek at that? I guess we could. Holding the question in, but since you said it, next book. So, I got one that's in a really weird state that we're starting to chisel away on. And the beginning of the next month, I'm going to be slammed with work. I have a con to go to that's like last couple days of this month, first couple days of next month. So when I get back from that, I might need to get some mods in my Discord server to keep an eye on that place, because I am going to be nose to the grindstone through May. It's going to be rough. But I'm hoping when we push through all that, there'll be a lot more steps after that, but my chunk will be all through May, and then we'll pass the ball back, then it'll come back to me. But I'm hoping after that book, the next one will be easier sailing. Bought a Kindle, man. I'm burning through books. Need books? Yeah. Twice did other games. So there's this one, The Verdant Apocalypse. Excuse me. That's one I really want to make. And that's the one you basically have two forces of nature that try to, like, one's from space and one is Mother Nature of Earth, right? And they're competing to take over the world, which results in an apocalypse. Like, everything gets overgrown. There's weird magic in the world from the two of them competing. And the idea is maybe not every role you make, but most of them, those two forces are constantly competing and they're trying to consume you. So depending on your role outcome, you start accruing points in one of those natures or the other. And, like, depending on the crits and successes and failures you get, you might just raise the value, or you might raise the value and lower the value of the other one. So they're just constantly competing, and as they fill up, you gain access to better abilities, but they get more and more dangerous to use, and if you end up maxing out that value, you become consumed by that whichever force of nature. You die, essentially. So you just have that constant competing force you're dealing with while trying to survive this weird world you're in. That's one I want to make. One's just plays. I wanted character creation to, like, really lean on animal facts and stuff, but I also wanted a wild magic system in that one, which might get used in this. So I don't know. Wandering Factories we've talked a little bit about. That's the one. It came from a Planar Crossroads chat. And you have these giant factories / villages, I guess. It's a factory big enough to live in, but also, like, do all this working. So I just went with the word factory. But they're, like, on legs, walking, and the idea is another apocalyptic kind of thing. The rest of civilization is in these various factories walking around, but the factories have to chase this very slow moving, like, magical weird storm that pretty much wiped out the world and mutated everything. But they're drawing power from that storm, so they kind of have to stay alongside it, so they're constantly on the move. Unless the storm stops for a little bit, then the factory can stop. And when that happens, like, you're supposed to get out, go salvage, and for supplies, and do any repairs on the factory. And of course, there's weird mutant things to deal with, and bandits and raiders and all that stuff. And then I also wanted some kind of mechanic where you can go into the storm, and, like, the deeper you go into the storm, the more dangerous it gets, but, like, there's weird loot and stuff in there. So, and the other thing about this is, like, okay, can I just make these for nuts? It's like, is that all they need to be, or do they need to be whole brand new systems? So you know. And maybe we'll make a standalone Moss and Stone system. You never know. That's the thing. I did not have a plan for nuts. So I'm like, okay, do I make modules for it? Do I just make little tweaks? And that was, I don't know. I don't think we streamed it. I tried a little tweak to nuts recently, where everybody played as vampires, and the idea was like, okay, instead of making a whole module with all the new skills and shells and stuff, what if we just, because the shells are functioning as intended in the sense they fit in multiple different settings, what if we just tweak one of the base rules to better fit that setting? And since they were all playing as vampires, it's like, okay, let's tweak this rule on how you regain resources. Like, okay, now they require a human to consume, and it only does this much or whatever. And I felt like that worked pretty good. Like, it's just a tiny little change, but completely changes the way it plays out. There's no need to make a whole module if that's all you're going to do. So you could just post like I could just come up with a bunch of little tweaks and put them in the base manual and be like, here you go. This is what you can do with this game. Go nuts. No pun intended. Actually, pun was fully intended, but you get the idea. Modular is fun. It streams like, yeah. Currently busy writing an anime-inspired setting from a game called The World Died, so now we survive on dungeons. I mean, I'm already getting a lot of ideas, so on what that could be. That sounds pretty dope. Let's see, what does Moss and Stone add or remove from EZD6, and why use that system and not TriCube Tales? Love both games is a question. Hey, that's a good question. I also love TriCube Tales, even though I constantly call it TriCube Tables. Honestly, I guess you could, because TriCube just has your 3 archetypes. Yeah, you could. If I had made it for that, it just would have been mostly a lore dump, and then I'm running through the TriCube rules. There wouldn't have been anything rule-wise to add. You could have added something from Whisper Stones, I guess, for TriCube. I'm trying to think. Because if you have special items in TriCube, those are like perks, right? So I feel like that's essentially what those would be. They'd be like a one-use perk. So you could have. We picked, because it was originally me and another guy that started this project on Moss and Stone. And I'm trying to remember why we picked EZD6. I think it was because we wanted the race option. You know, pick your species that you play as, which brought in different inclinations for EZD6, and it just kind of went from there. Other than that, there wasn't too big a reason. Whoop, Chad's bouncing. Moss and Stone doesn't really remove anything from EZD6. I guess you could say it removes magic. There's still magic in the world, but there's no magic casting. Well, there is a magic casting class now. There's the corrupted one. So it just kind of tweaks what's already there and gives you a whole new setting. I'm a big proponent of new, but also similar system, each system being tuned for the goals. But yeah. Quite an Excalibur. This is actually an old one. I just put it up to make me look busy, Peter. But we do have more. Look, you got your wifey's picks right there. We got some Squirrel games. We have some Squirrel development. Looky there. Haha. People are intending their puns. Puns is funs. That's right. EZD6. Yeah, that was another thing. We when we started Moss and Stone, we were really leaning into long-term play, like campaign play. That's why there's, you know, all the safe zones and the traveling stuff and, you know, dealing with supplies and all that. So Easy D6 leaned it. Wasted Worlds is what we were looking at. That's right. Because we were like, well, we like that kind of survival-esque bit of it, but nothing too complicated. Temporary magic items are fun. So hopefully that answers your question. I had the thought the other day too when I was working on the YouTube stuff. It's like, I want to run a TriCube game. And I kind of feel like I need to. Because I tried to run a TriCube. This was before I started making more connections and people were coming on the channel and running games for me. I was like, well, I guess I will try to run these games. I tried to run TriCube, and despite TriCube being such an easy and simple game, I wrecked it, dude. Like, I screwed it up so bad. I was like, I feel terrible, and so many people have watched that stream. Like, I finally went and delisted it. It's like, guys, this was all wrong. I did it so bad. Like, you're getting the wrong idea of TriCube. Oh, man. So, I would like to do another one proper, but that's why I really like having people come on and run their own games so people can see how it's supposed to be played and not how I interpreted it and screwed it up. So. And you know, it's just nice to have the author there anyway. See them showing off their own product. I understand why the devs would like other people to play it, but I need you, man. I need you to run your own game. So, but I've done TriCube enough. I think I can handle it. So, I need to get that together and run another one. Maybe we'll do a Moss and Stone and TriCube and just see how it works out. Could do that. Might be fun. TriCube's pretty neat. Now, shifting gears here. I think it was this Monday. I think it was Monday morning. A very lovely chat with a gentleman from Harpy. Is that how you? Harpy.gg. Let's see. It's an online VTT, which, you know, I know there's a lot of them, but I really don't have anything to show you. I don't have anything made. It's a project he's working on, and it's really cool because he's got some play-by-post stuff in there. You can set up a play-by-post, which I was like, oh, that's neat. You don't ever see that. And he's got your traditional VTT, I guess, you know, looking top down, there's your map. But he's also got a 3D one, 3D-esque. It's like you still have your map, you tilt it, but then you can put 3D objects on the map. And he's got some you just drag and drop in there. It's like super cool. It's real smooth. It's very streamlined. And I should preface this all with, it's all free. Like, he's not... VTT is virtual tabletop. Builder B, so it's, you can play some ttrpgs on. I was gonna say, I kind of wish I had a. I don't. Can we make a map real quick? We can upload one. I see he was he was running through it, showing me a million different things all at once. I don't know, but he put a map on here. He's just dropping trees and stuff in, and you can like draw on the board. It's got a lot of quality of life features. Like I said, it's super smooth. You can connect with Hero Forge, bring in your minis. And he used to work for Hero Forge on their back end, like doing the programming and stuff. So that was pretty neat. But what he's doing, I don't remember how to navigate anything here. All right, these are entities, things you can make. So he's trying. He hasn't done it yet, but he's trying to make like some kind of marketplace where people can buy and sell their creations, and their creations could be, here's just these characters that I made with a whole bunch of lore, or here's an entire world setting that I made, or here's a dungeon I made. Just, you know, a little place to swap some stuff, some creations for a few bucks or something like that. I'm like, well, that'll be interesting if that works. And you can like, this is what I was trying to do the other day. Yeah. You already know. Oh yeah, I'm all cropped funny. I just now realized. Well, anyway, you know, this is my nut sheet from they made it in PowerPoint. But you can drag a sheet in here, you get image or PDF, and then you can like, how do we? Yeah, see, I put little things here you could fill in. You can just like drag boxes on there and start making your own formulas and stuff. Make your own character sheet in there. So like if you don't have one, you can just do whatever you want. It's super cool. I'm doing it at a horrific injustice, but it looks really, really neat. Thing is, he's not good at selling himself, we'll say. Like he's like me. He doesn't like selling himself. We're a lot of us are like that. He doesn't like saying, look at me, look at the stuff I've done. And he doesn't like getting on streams and stuff. But I did talk him into it. We're going to do an interview, and he's going to basically just show all y'all everything he showed me. I like what he's doing. It's super cool. Like I said, it's all free, and he doesn't plan to ever charge for it. He said if the marketplace thing takes off, what he would probably do is he'll, you know, a little transaction charge or whatever, a little off the top to help support that. But so far, it's all free. Marketing is hard. Yeah, marketing stinks. But I'm trying to feel like there was some, like, yeah, because he was putting these 2D maps down, but they were animated. Like there was fish swimming in the pond and everything, and you can do weird effects and stuff. It was super cool without being overwhelming, right? It wasn't a video game by any means. But it seemed cool. And it has its own little dice roller in there, you know, dice go. I might start using it for streams, like when we're doing Theater of the Mind games, because it has a dice roller right there. It's like, oh, that's pretty nice. So, might do that. Good way to get, you know, multiple people in the same place to roll dice together. So we're going to have him on. Technically, yesterday, we were supposed to have Blaze and his artist on for an interview, but we had some tech things to figure out. So I will have a PNG tuber on here next week. The artist, she wants to keep her identity super secret, so she's going to use a PNG. So we've got it, excuse me, all animated and whatnot. It looked really good. So that'll be fun. We're going to have a chat with both of them. Speaking of world shapers, there it is right there. What else we got going? Peter, if you're still here, Gobslime, I think his name was. Is she a secret agent? It's true. Gobslime reached out to me with Dungeoneers, and we talked about that a little bit. So we're gonna be playing that. Maybe I'll sneak him on for an interview or something. So, oh yeah, I know what I wanted to show y'all. Let's see. If I had all the budget, I'd do a VTuber. Yeah. They can get kind of expensive. So, damn it, I closed it as soon as I opened it. This guy reached out to me recently. Okay, don't hit that button. And he had this game. He's like, hey, it's a diceless game. And I was like, hey, there's, you know, a guy in the server that has something like that. Funny you show up. But anyway, he's talking about it, and he gave me a copy, and I had a call with him, and it's like he doesn't want to run the game. He's like he wasn't comfortable getting on running it for a bunch of strangers and doing it on stream. I was like, that's fine, but it probably wouldn't have worked anyway because it's a game. It's a survival game geared for much longer term play. So even if we just even if I was able to talk him into it, just a 2 or 3 hour stream wouldn't, a game session wouldn't have done it justice. He said it's meant for multiple sessions and longer. So another diceless, yeah. But what I think is so crazy, nope, that's the wrong button. How do I? Because I'm not gonna sit here and take a screenshot of everything. Let's see. I kind of thought I had it. PDF viewer, it's right there. Okay. All right, y'all. I guess you're gonna get the whole thing here. Oh, I see. I see the problem. Oh, I see the other problem. Transform, reset. All right, let's do this. Fit to screen. I guess. Oh no. Let's do this. Let's just put it over there. That way we don't have chat going over it. The artwork in this is so cool. I mean, you can see it. And like every single page is just loaded, right? I mean, look at that. And you know what really made me angry? Because he did all the drawing for this. Like, he did all the illustration. You know, he did the whole thing, top to bottom. My understanding, anyway. He's like, yeah, I started learning to draw in 2018. And I was like, okay, all right. Just wanted to hang up on it. Wish I could learn to draw that good, that quick. But what was interesting, he was saying, yeah, this comic right here, this is actually an adventure you go through, and he was saying character creation is like a little mini game. And that's when I was like, oh, well, can we do that on stream? And then that's when he was like, I don't wanna. I was like, okay. So, but it's, I mean, you can see the art. I love these little mask dudes, man. Like, it's got a whole world, and it's a beefy book. It's 252 pages. Like, there's a lot. It's gonna be too complicated for me, and I'm never gonna be able to read this book because I'm gonna get distracted by the art every time. I'm just gonna be looking at the pictures. I mean, you can see how awesome it is. He said he's up for some kind of award too. I forgot what they were called. But... Look at them dudes, man. It is hard. That is one thing about it. Cyros, that's the text on some of them is very hard to read. It got too pretty. Especially like these headers right here. Definitely an art book with a ttrpg inside, yeah. That's the thing. It's super cool though. I love it. Yeah, I feel like you would have to read this from front to back. Oh, technically this page, you can tell that page is supposed to, this one on the right is supposed to be on the left, and this one's supposed to be over here, but you like the art of the game rules? I like the art. I was gonna say you probably have to read this front to back to learn how to play it, because the way he was explaining it, it didn't sound like it was a traditional rule book in the sense like, all right, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. Oh, he reached out to you. Oh, well, that might be my fault, Peter, because I was if it's very recent, because we just talked a day or two ago and I told him about you, so. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. So. It's cool looking, but yeah, it's a lot. There might be a game in the art somewhere. You're still looking for playtesters for your game. Well, I think you're in the right place. Yeah, I need to read through yours, and then we can do a. Are you comfortable streaming and running a game? Accessibility is one thing I've been improving upon with my game. Hey, I feel like a Google Doc's pretty accessible. What else we got going on? Another guy reached out to me with a project, and Blaze, it was kind of like yours in the sense he had his own website for it with a bunch of tools. He even had a 3D dice roller on his website. I'm just saying, you know, I was making my character and rolling up some stats, and the little dice rolled across the screen. I was like, oh boy! I like dice rollers. But I sent him an email last night of like, my community would eat me alive, and you too, if I reviewed this, because it had a significant amount of AI art on it, and a lot of the text. I don't have any proof, but reading it, I felt like a significant chunk of the text was AI generated. So I was like, you know, I see what you did with the website and this project and everything. Like, yeah, you did a lot of work, but there's a lot of AI in this, and the community does not approve of that. So, you know, to keep from being burned alive or burned at the stake, I won't. So, I felt bad though. That's the part of the job I don't like. It's telling people no. Although it seemed like, if I was understanding it right, it seemed like a 5e hack. I think that's what you call a hack anyway. It seemed very 5e coded with your stats and the way classes and feats and everything, but it was like a post-apocalyptic end of the world kind of setting. So I don't know how far it deviated from 5e, but seemed close enough. But I had to tell him no. I feel like there was something else. A lot of people reached out. Also, Peter, I think I stopped mid-sentence. I was saying Gob Slime reached out. I think he's... Yeah, because he said he talked to you and you pointed him my way. That's right. So I'm assuming he's in your server. His book looks cool. I asked him, I was looking through the book. I was like, man, this layout kind of looks like Break. So I asked him, and I was like, did you get some inspiration from Break? And he's like, yeah. So that was kind of fun. Recognize that. Break has a wonderful layout, or design, interior design, whatever you want to call it. Cyros, how hard is your game to pick up, would you say? Could people learn to play it fairly easily? Let's just go to it. Your Squirrel safe, right? Gotta double check. Yeah. It's different since I last looked at it. Or is that a different link? Oh, you got different links. I'm sorry. This is the player handbook. Okay. What this handbook does. Teaches and summarizes the rules if a player actually uses at the table. modular diceless tabletop role-playing game. We have free exploration mode. The scene is open, flexible, not under immediate pressure. Challenge mode, turn order challenge, roleplay resolution, mental or social arena. And downtime. Who doesn't like some downtime? Checks and target numbers. Well, how do you have a target number if it's diceless? Oh, man. It seems long. Well, not too bad. This is just the player part, so. Gear, talent, skills. Oh. I see you in the document. We'll have to, we need to play that one. We need to put that on the list, which I think it already is on the list. Let me see. No. How was it not? I thought it was. Alright. Questline VTT. That is the other one I've been meaning to get on here and interview. He did an interview on Dave's channel, Grimwood Games. And he had a super, well, I can't say super fun, kind of a bittersweet story as to why he made his VTT. And he's got a pretty snazzy one. And that's the thing, like it's, yeah, the Harpy one is a VTT. And Questline is a VTT, and yes, they both do ttrpgs, but like they're very different products, and that's because they have different goals, and they're both very cool. I like what he made, so I need to get him on here. He's a pretty cool guy. We need to get that one scheduled. Peter, if you're still here, how does your wife feel about making a ton of art at the mercy, or she would be at the mercy of pledge prompts, meaning you have your pledges on Kickstarter, and the people who make those pledges, they get to submit like a 1 or 2 line prompt for the character art that she has to make. So like the prompts I gave her, you know, that were super simple, for these guys, something similar to that. They might have a little more wiggle, or you know, a little more room to describe what they want than what I gave, but not much. So it would be like, well, you know, 12 shells. Let's just assume a character on every page. Is that too much for her? I think it'd be fun. And can she draw items and vehicles? I guess she can. I mean, she's got some right there. There's a sword. There's a donut shield. There's a barbarian axe on a twig, which is, I mean, come on. That's awesome. A barbarian belt. That could be an item. Oh, we're going to put it to work. I swear I had something else and I can't think of what it was. I feel like I had such an epiphany with YouTube and then it wasn't much at all. I do need to work on Outgunned. Unfortunately, I didn't get the developer to play Outgunned. I don't know if I could swing that. That was a super fun game though. I really liked Outgunned. And but that's another one of those things, like, I hate to say oh, you played the ttrpg wrong, but like there are rules in place to make things work better, or more fluidly, and balanced. And I feel like no matter who you are, the first time you run it, or even the second time, or even the third time, like you're gonna screw it up in the sense you will forget a rule or misinterpret a rule or something. So like when we played Outgunned, even though it was super fun, like there was a few things we got completely wrong, completely forgot about. Super easy one was whenever we use that spotlight feature, we're supposed to flip a coin, and then we have a 50% chance of getting the spotlight back. Like we don't actually burn the use of it. So like, oh, that would have helped us out a lot. Like we could have got a lot of extra spotlight uses. We just completely forgot about that. And I think the damage we were taking, we were supposed to be reducing by a certain amount too. That's why we were all almost very dead by the end of the stream. So, but even then, like it was still fun. Like the Yahtzee approach, like not just roll a bunch of dice and then you just match, and it's super easy to know how many dice you need to roll. Like it's a pretty solid system. I liked it. I really liked it, and just being action heroes was stupid, but it was fun. I was like, and that was the adventure in the back of the book. So I was like, oh yeah, man, just bar brawl right off the bat, jump in a car chase, jump in a plane as it's taking off, things are blowing up, jump out of the plane. It's crazy. It was great. Terrible action movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Chat was stuck. I'm sorry. I was wondering why nobody was saying anything. That's weird. It stopped coming up here, so let me catch up. Yeah, it got stuck on Cyro saying accessibility is one thing they've been improving on. So, oh yeah, as long as you don't mind a lack of cam, you're fine with streaming. Why no cam? We need to see the GM. How to spread your media and games to others. Well, Builder B, I don't know what that was in reference to because I'm behind on chat. I really need to get my tester hat on and help others that and rewrite that PT list for my resident sheriff. Be reciprocal and all that, plus my work life informs me that I break systems easy. Oh no. The initial onboarding is a bit rough as far as the diceless game goes, but once you wrap your head around the resolution mechanics, it's easy. So that's a weird thing. Like, Tricube is such an easy game, and you can like fit it on one page. But me and a lot of other people I know, when we sit down to learn it, it's like, what? And I think it's because it's so easy. You just have trouble accepting it. Oh, you already have a full adventure set up for the Stone Age setting. That's right. You got the Stone Age thing going. Is Peter's wife an artist? She is. Mrs. Elsewhere is an artist. Sure is. If you forgot a rule but still had fun, I think you don't need that rule. I mean, what if the rule makes it more fun? Think of it as a feature or a mechanic, not a rule. Because rule sounds like you have to do this thing. Did the chat for... Yeah, it did. That's why I was behind Builder B. Because that's really weird how that worked. But we fixed it. We're caught up. So, okay. So onboarding is rough for Diceless. Good to know. I'm thinking of players. Keep that cognitive load low. That's true. That's true. There's something to be said about that. And that's the thing. Like as you play the game more and more and more and more, you get better at it as far as remembering the rules, because it doesn't take up so much load, right? You're like, okay, I can remember this, I can remember that, blah, 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 blah. It starts to come more naturally. But I would like to play Outgunned again. Now, you guys might know this. It's made by Two Small Mice or whatever. Is that... The book said it was the director system, I think is what they called it. Outgunned features a game system called Director's Cut, a set of mechanics using a strong blah 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 blah. So, is this the first game they made that uses that Yahtzee thing? When was this made? 2023? I feel like they've been around longer than that. I was just wondering, like, if this is the Yahtzee system is something they've been setting on for a while and have a bunch of other games. I know they got the superhero one. That's why I'm trying best to make it so you only have to add 3 numbers together. It's a lot harder than you'd think. It has to do with the narrative aspects, the approach, and how that ties into the stats, skills, talents, and gear you use to resolve the challenge. Okay. I would say, because I got some buddies who like really lean into the roleplay side of things. So if it's a game that leans into that, you know, I'll bring them on board. But arithmetic load is a real thing to be wary about in ttrpg design. Yeah. Some people like that crunch. Cough, cough, blaze. They mostly have mostly skins for Outgunned. Okay, so Outgunned was the first one to use it. It's called the director system, and since that one's like all Hollywood action movies, that's what made me think, okay, this is where that started. Now they also have Household. That's where you play as little people, little teeny tiny people. I love this pose when people use that. Like, there's the one with Victor Saltspire, and then Warframe made a new class or whatever they call it that was very Victor Saltspire coded, and it was doing the pose with the rapier and everything. I like that. It's a fun pose. You know, the hand behind the back, standing up super straight, right down the center. I'm sure there's a name for it, but all right. What about... Ooh, are they making another one? Twilight Sword. Oh, didn't somebody was talking about that when we were playing Outgunned. I was hoping for an about. The award-winning RPG Household is back. That's right. DM Tales was saying Household had been out for a while, but they redid something on it. Okay, I'm not actually getting any information about the game. Outgunned Adventure. Okay, so yeah, that's one of those skins you was talking about. Okay. I don't know what all these are. Why is this one so quiet? Rulings. Because, yeah, I was under the impression Household used a similar system. Okay, when rolling, your goal isn't to roll the highest or lowest possible, but combine as many equal symbols as you can in pairs, 3 of a kind, and so on. Okay, so it does sound like the same system. Let's see, let me catch up on chat. Games have mechanics. Playing with mechanics is fun. It's true, until they work against me. Also one of those words you shouldn't abbreviate. Next to control point, horse heresy. Oh, hello, cat. Let me make room for you so you can scream at the birds. There you go. Okay. So that sounds like it's the same basic concept anyway. Oh, there's a spider. I didn't realize that. I can't show that. Google sword poses. Zelda theme. Yeah, so let's go. Is that... Well, I don't want to pre-order. I think they're doing fine for money on their projects. A champion, bring back hope to the lands of Aradia. Twilight Sword is an adventure role-playing game inspired by classic video games like Legend of Zelda. Ooh, Ni no Kuni. What is that D4? Look at that thing. That's cool. That one really stab you in the foot when you step on it. My goodness. But again, nothing about the book. Just give us money. Whoop. Twilight Sword looks really interesting. I love the art from what I've seen. Yeah. A salute before the duel begins. Two Little Mice. A small Italian studio with a passion for art and games. Founded by Riccardo and Simone. This is what? This award right here. That guy that sent the book with all the really cool art. He said he's up for one of these. He hadn't got it. It's the, you know, like, hey, you might get it. Come to the thing or whatever. So, one of the games. Yeah. Well, I would like to know more about Household and like how it works, but I guess I'll have to buy it. Oh, it's on drive-thru, isn't it? Here's their superheroes. Oh, it even says outgunned above it. Okay. Another outgunned. Newest titles. Okay. Well, wait. That says Adventures in the Household. 5e compatible. Boo! I don't want that. Alright. So these are like adventures. 5e compatible. Where's the actual book? Volume 2. The garden. I don't care about the garden. Household Volume 2 is a great expansion for the Household RPG. Okay. Not long after. Okay. That's a cool picture. Frog. Crystal dice, is that what that weird thing was called? Desperately want to get a full set, very want to see right. Well, that's unfortunate. They need to all be pointy. Literally made of crystal would be cool. Is this the base Household? 5e compatible. We don't want that. Well, see, this sounds like household is... I don't know what... I'm confused. Is it something for 5e, or do they just have things that are also for 5e? Is it just a setting? Or is it its own game? Introduction to the garden. You know nothing about household. This might prove to be a confusing read. But I thought it was an introduction. An introduction to the garden. Okay. Household quick start. Start playing. Aha! Uses pools of 6-sided dice to determine the outcome. Okay, that's the match the stuff. Well, see, it sounds like they had that from the get-go. And then Outgun popularized it? I don't know. Does it say, yeah, added to catalog 2022, which was well before. Okay, it wasn't that long. It was just a year before. So maybe they'd had a... I don't know. What'd you miss? You missed me missing chat. For the most part. Let's look up crystal dice. So if I look up crystal dice, I get crystal dice. Not the weird. Well, I stand corrected. To the board! What about that? Are those crystal dice? Because these are like funny shape. What is that? That's a D100 set pair, whatever. Or is it that one? That's a D8. That's a D4. I like that D4. These are pretty nice. The D20 is the same. The D12... a kind of weird shape. And then I don't know what is this, a coin? So wait a minute. Where's the D6? Some sharp edges there. Yeah. That's pretty close to a full set. Those are pretty gnarly. It's like the only one that comes up, too. Now, these would be hard to read, dude. Like... those are ones you gotta double check. It's like, where, is it on the 1 or is it on the 2? I guess it works, though. The parallelogram one is the D6. It's about 1 o'clock. This one? Okay. I think I can see it. Yeah. Okay, I was looking at it a different... Okay, I got it. I'm with you. So 6, 8, 12, a coin, 4, 10, twice, D20. Nah, that's a pretty cool set. Slight benefit of going diceless. You can't stab each other with the dice. Bad design on the last one. What, this flat square? I don't see how this... Yeah, that's... So let's pull open... I don't know, some of you saw this on another stream. This fancy dice roller I got. Let's see. Sophie's Dash. Oh, it's Cat. He brought me a toy. Alright. Let's roll some dice. What's the most interesting dice you've ever seen? Favorite, worst, confusing, easy? Well, all my dice are digital, so... Woo! Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Let me... transform, reset. Oh. So let's put it over here. And this is what we're gonna do. Can I make this? Okay. There we go. D16 made out of marble. So what was I looking? Oh, I was looking up the D6. Because this has, I mean, obviously some of these I don't think you would see in the real world. But this is it, isn't it? Is that what that is? Ah, it's so weird. Oh, let's Alright. Man, that is... I'm trying to make it, did not want the glitter. There we go. I just wanted it darker. All right. Yeah. That's a weird one. But yeah, I guess it worked. It doesn't roll much. Looks like a lazy cube. Yeah, that's funny. Huh. What else do you have for D6s? So you just got various cubes. The barrels. Skew hexahedron. A lot of dice. Yeah, the sharper angle. Yeah, those just makes it hard to roll. What is a trigonal bipyramid? What? I don't like it. That shape hurts my head. But it's like... hurt my head so bad I got sick. Alright, so that looks like a D4. Looking down that way. But not that way. Ugh, man. Shapes, what even are they? Alright, I see it though. I see how it works. It's 2D4 glued together. Yeah. The lenticular one. What was that? Is that a six-side thing? A Fiji bopper. It's like a D8 but missing two sides. So how does... Oh, okay. It's the same number on both sides. Alright. I didn't mean to grab them. Huh. Feel like I fought some of those in Star Fox. Man, I've heard rumor there's a Star Fox game in the works. Golly, that one's 6-side seed in the lower right. Oh, this one looks like a football. Oh, I made a copy by accident. Those look edible. But see, that one rolls good. Looks like it can't stop moving. Oh man, we got a bot. Goodbye. There's a pug-shaped cube. Yeah. They look like almonds, yeah. There's some nut cubes. How does this one work? Oh, that's just a weird... Okay, I get it. Yeah, the pug one doesn't make any sense. It's definitely for the computer, but I do like how your nat one is the butt. Math magicians. I like that. Oh man, they got some fun D12 ones. I feel like we looked at those before. $122, 180 faces. Oh man. Yeah, like how would you? Oops, I keep making copies. Bonk. It's still rolling. It's still rolling. Scratch Mass Magic Land. Pass the pigs. You roll 2 little pigs. I have not. Look at these big old golf balls. Yeah, how do you tell which side's up? This is Smug. This is Sophie's Dice. It's available. You can get it from Itch. It's on Steam. You might be able to just buy it straight from her. I don't know. I got it on Steam. A D1000. I didn't see one. Pentacus truncated triechus icosahedron. Everybody understood what I just said. Also, it stops at 180, so I guess not. How does pentacontagonal bipyramid? How does that? Oh, that's how. How are you supposed to tell which side is facing up? Come on now. It would be kind of neat though if you had a die like this. And it was it was shaped in such... Oh, I didn't realize. Y'all are getting filtered hard over here. Hang on. I have the green screen thing on there. There you go. That probably looks a little better. But I was gonna say, if you had this, but made it like a level where there's just a little air bubble in there and liquid, and then where the air bubble stops, like that's the number you roll, because it's like, okay, we, you know, if this were a real die, like how would you know which one's facing up? Clearly you just sneezed. Yeah. Was there a D6 or something that was also a sphere? I don't... Was there? Oh, we can round the edges. Very nice. What were we looking for? A D6? Right? D6, that was also a sphere. There's a D8 somehow. Oh, yeah. Octahedral void sphere. Yeah, I don't think that would work in real life. I don't know, they are kind of rolling funny. Huzzah! Playing pool over here. How do you roll a sphere? How do you not roll a sphere? So can I... Oh, that's the label. I thought I could just put in the amount. Oh. Those are marbles. I learned the word dodecahedron from watching the Phantom Toll Booth. At that point, you had to make the dice tray specifically to stop the balls at a certain point. Yeah. That'd be a fun way to roll dice. Like your values are on the table and you're rolling marbles. Like, so you know, did you ever play pennies? It's I think shuffleboard works the same way, similar way. Like you try and get the penny as close to the edge of something as you can, and you know whoever gets the closest gets all the pennies. Wait, we don't even have pennies anymore. So it'd be neat if you had something like that. The board, you had a mat or something with the values, and you were trying to land your dice or your marbles on that value instead of just a total random roll of the dice. That'd be kind of fun. It works for Powerball. May have learned that in high school yourself. Oh no, the sphere is probably hollow with a denser sphere inside. A denser sphere inside. It might be. Curling in the Olympics. Yeah, something like that. That'd be fun. This one looks like a landmine. Or not a landmine, a mine you put in the ocean. Blah. Nah. Yeah! Bring in player skill. You know, somebody left a comment a long time ago on an old video. That was a D20, wasn't it? That's a D20. They might have had 19, though. Yeah, they did, didn't they? For Dungeon Crawl Classics, it uses a bunch of weird die sizes. Anyway, I was going to say, there's a guy who left a comment on a very old video when it first came out. He was wanting to make a game. It was a ttrpg, but included... fitness. So like your skill checks and stuff, you would have to do fitness activities like, you know, 10 push-ups or whatever. And the idea was, you know, it was meant for getting fit, getting healthy, but like he thought it'd be fun to use that in the game. So like if you were more fit in real life, your adventurer was more fit and could do more. You know, you had a higher chance of success for passing your checks and stuff. So it's like, oh, that could be cool. That'd be a fun way to work out, I guess. I don't know if we ever finished. I ain't heard nothing about a Kickstarter of a fitness TTRPG, so. The D19 is great for representing curses in D20 games. That's a good point. That's a good point. So those are nice dice. Nice dice. Oh, that didn't... Interesting. That doesn't minimize it in the stream strom. But when I do that with Word, it does. Interesting. New nuts every day. Yeah, man. That's how we do. We's edumacating around here. I'm not looking forward to May. I'm going to be very busy in May. But right before May starts, I will be at a fun, tiny little convention, and I will get to play my first physical at a table game. And I think it's going to be nuts. So it's a hard sell, but I think it'd be fun. In my 20s, I like to drink beer and then challenge people to push up contests, so that's like the same thing. Yeah. It might be. It was a bit more involved what he was telling me, but like it sounded cool. I like the idea. Polyhero dice, rogue d20 luck. I might have seen this before. How's it? Oh, you just get it right off like Amazon. Do you actually put it in the lock and spin? Maybe you should do the floating idea with a little white acorn and a liquid die. Ooh. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So how does this work? I guess I could go to the webpage. Ah. You like put it in there and spin. Spin it and pull down and it locks the dice. Yeah. See a lot of dice which looks like solutions to certain problems. Hey man. That's how you make it. You know, that's where the good stuff comes from. If I had, if I had been exposed to all of this when I was younger and had people around me to play these games at a physical table, I would have all kinds of stupid junk like I'd show up at the game with a big old tub full of stuff. Oh man. Join a work call. Ew, gross. Polyhero Rogue. So do they have a store page that is not Amazon? Mostly because my information's all over the Amazon website, so I want to dox myself, even though people just email me and are like, hey, what's your address so I can send you this? I'm like, oh, here you go. Ah! No. Warrior. Gosh, can it be any smaller? Zoom! The picture's not getting much bigger. Oh, hi, cat. Oh gosh, you're so heavy. Hey, cat. Do not wish to subscribe. He's not happy. How do we... Look, Crash. You're on camera. You're famous now. Alright. I guess we're here now. Oh, is that your mace and a lance? Was that a barrel? Oh, there we go. I like the little mine looking ones. Those are neat. Ooh. Wraith Knight. Can cats feel happiness? Yeah, man. When they make your life miserable, it fills them with all kinds of joy. What a time to be alive. Yeah, RPG player, designer, but haven't played in person. Well, I mean, y'all know the story of, like, how, you know, I grew up. Like, it just wasn't available out here. Nobody was into it. And it didn't help it was, you know, the dirty, dirty South. Most people thought it was the devil. Some holy hand grenades. What are those, D6s or? Yeah, 5D4. Oh, yeah, I guess they are, aren't they? But yeah, it just wasn't out here, and I was never exposed to it. And if there had been an older group, like, of adults who were like, hey, you want to play this game with us, I would have jumped on it. And, like, if they just handed me the book and said, read this, it never would have worked. But if they were like, yeah, no, come here, well, like, here's a character, we'll walk you through it, I would have gotten hooked. And then as I played, like, I'm assuming D&D would have been, you know, the likely game. That's what I'm saying. If they just threw the book at me, I wouldn't have known what to do. But if they walked me through it, I'm sure by the time I was 10 or 11, I would know the rules. If I was playing with them regularly, I would just remember all the rules by playing and know them like the back of my hand. But it just wasn't a thing out here. There wasn't any game stores. There wasn't people into it. If they were into it, they kept it to themselves. So, uh-oh, the children's bus approaches. He's gone. But yeah, it just what I had zero access to it. And you know, when the internet came around, I guess technically I had some kind of access, but I didn't know what it was to go find it. So, and I keep saying I don't know if there's any even TTRPG stores around now, but let's see if there is. Let's go to the map. TTRPG store near me. Your idea of near. Okay, that one's actually not far. Oh man, they got all the tags on their site. Identifies as woman owned, identifies as veteran owned, LGBTQ plus friendly. They got all the badges. But like, is it actually a TTRPG store? I see cards and action figures. I'm not seeing TTRPGs. I'm just seeing really old toys. Okay, here's a picture with a bunch of tables. Look like they're set up for playing. Played Dragon Strike in the mid-90s, but never got into the whole culture until I started hanging out with a bunch of Gen Xers at the local gaming store. Early 2000s. Look up gaming store or gaming shop. Also hobby shops. Yeah, see, that's kind of what Cyrus, this is what this place is looking like. Looks like they have all the adjacent stuff, but they actually run games there. Now, I will say, this would have been, let me do some math. Let me do some math. So, 2011 is when I got into the manufacturing career, engineering and CAD work and all that. So, about a year at the first job, 2 years at the second one, which is T&B, and then I went from there to Spice. So that was about a whole year there. So about 2016, 2017, I worked with this mechanic, older gentleman, who was super into tabletop games. Not the well, he might have done some role-playing ones, but he liked like some of the war games and stuff. And he took me to some random game store in Memphis I had no idea existed. And it was like a junk shop more than anything, but they had tables, like nice war game tables you could use. And we went and we played some Star Wars game. And it was awesome. So technically there was that in 2016 at least. But I will say it did not look like they were doing very well. Then they had some really old minis there, like the ones made out of lead. All right, that is a very questionable image to show. All right. I might have to go check this out. This is just like 15 minutes up the road. Oh, there's a, okay. So here's their ttrpg corner. The picture from the site. Whoop. They got some stuff going on. There's a lot of shops out here, but exactly makes cards. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here's a picture. It was like some folks playing Magic the Gathering, it looks like. I guess they had a dress up day. This is from Google Maps. Go on, adios later, dude. Okay, I might need to go check this place out. This is from the Dynasty Warrior games I've been playing lately. What track is this? Well, that's just like your character select screen. Oh, man. Anyway. The Dungeon Master. Yeah, man. Okay, so that's one store. Now here's some that are out in the greater city of Memphis. What do they got going on? Do we not have pictures? Here we go. Photos and videos. Now this one has a lot of tables. And it's very empty. Like, look at this. It's not an efficient use of space. And he's selling some cards. Cards. And you know, I get it. Like, you're not gonna, there's no way you can make a living selling dice and TTRPG books. Like, I get you have to, the store is the meetup location, and then the store has to sell a lot of other things to make do. Oh man, they got a full house here. Another Magic tournament, looks like. Whew, I can smell that picture. Mercy. All right. I don't know why somebody put their kid on the internet, but I will say he's got a pretty solid gaming mat. I like that. Okay, well that's 1 star. Or I guess that's 2. Cellar tabletop. Not too far away from there. And this place looks packed. Oh my. They just loaded with stuff. Yeah, it might be. It might be Wisp. Looks like a lot of D&D books in there. And you know, like, I have not spent any money on the ttrpg hobby. And I know I've gotten away with that some because, like, I get store credit from DriveThruRPG just from the affiliate link. Not a whole lot, but every now and then, you know, it's like, oh, there's something for $2. I'll go grab it, and it doesn't cost me anything. And then I'm getting a lot of TTRPGs because people are just sending them to me, like, hey, please review this. But, like, even if I wasn't doing the YouTube thing, people I've heard frequently, like, oh man, I spend so much money in the TTRPG hobby. It's like, how do you spend money in this hobby? Or, you know, spend a lot. I can understand a book here and there, but, like, what's the thing? Only one person needs the book. Magic the Gathering keeps most shops in business. Yeah, you need constant influx of cash. RPGs are the worst for making money. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like just the nature of how they are. It's not something that draws in a lot of money. And if you try to make it in such a way that does draw money, it's such a huge turnoff. I've been destroyed by Kickstarters. Oh, they got comics here too on this one. Okay, I guess I need to go check out some of these shops. Walk in and just be like, yeah, okay, I see you selling stuff. All right, see you later. Oh, they're playing board games here. I gotta sneak in and, you know, not tell anybody I'm a, you know, high-profile YouTuber. Sneak in as a regular Joe. Oh, they brought the champagne for their game. Y'all look at this picture. Look at them being so fancy. They brought the champagne. Got some pretty dice, though. I might have to go check this out. There's a full house there. I'll tell you what, though, you know, 10K might be worth doing the math. Oh boy. So, like, I've doing this YouTube thing, you know, I've got to meet a lot of people. And I have a, we will say, a very luxurious pool of people to pull from when I need to play a game. You know, lots of people I can reach out to, different time zones, different, you know, personality types and stuff. Like I was just saying earlier, I was like, oh yeah, I know these, you know, these guys that are really into roleplay. So if we have a roleplay heavy game, I can reach out to them. If I like the crunchy guys, you know, it's like, this got me connected to a lot of people. So like, I'm not hurting for players generally, or finding a game to play in. I could not go to a physical place like a game store and just play with random people. And I don't have it in me, man. I don't think I can do it. Because I know I would get the weird table. Be like, all right, y'all start in a tavern. The waitress approaches you. Player asks, how old is she? It's like, all right, we're not. I'm out. There's a place called War Room. Can you see and easily, like, when a business was established at this location or something? I'm wondering how new these are. Oh man, look at all this Warhammer stuff. Where's Twice Dead? Is he in chat? Found the wargaming place. Wizards of the Coast tried to monetize a bit during 4E. They sold buff boosters for organized playing D&D and boosters with random loot for Gamma World. Good old Champegan. Weird tables are often the best, depending on the flavor. Yeah, that's the thing. I'd get one of the weird ones where you're like, I think for legal reasons, I need to back away. So, yeah, I feel like for TTRPGs, the only way you can make additional money for your game is like different settings. But see, those don't appeal to me. Like, if I were a 5e fan, would be like, why do I need this adventure module? I can run all my own adventures. Why do I need to drop $50 or whatever it is for this adventure I will do once, probably? You know, I can just make my own. But some, you know, and I've done a video about that in the past. Like, some people don't like making their stuff, so I guess, you know, there's a market for it. It's just, I am not the target audience. But some people love eating that stuff up. They're like, oh yeah, I want everything that has to do with this game. Every adventure, every setting. And some people like to do that just to be supportive too, so. Also cool. Man, this is all the Warhammer. Goodness gracious. That's a big store. Alright, look, they wargaming right. They got drinks too. I will admit Adventurers League is definitely not something I've tried. I did meet my first group randomly at a game store though. I don't know what Adventurers League is. Now there is that tool. We did a interview not too long ago, Group Finder. It's online strangers you can meet up with. I hope that takes off, because that could be a good way to connect people. Get some more games going. Okay, so that's definitely like I mean, it's called War Room, so it makes sense it's for war games. Edge Gaming. It doesn't open till 5 o'clock tonight. That's interesting. Hours. Oh, this is a tiny place. There's like 2 tables in here. Okay, I don't know about there. Oh, I don't know about that place. This is video games. Oh, I've been here. This is like a bunch of retro stuff. Hey, yeah. Hey, let me show you all this. The retro game store. But I'm gonna tell you. You can't even see that. I have this game. I have that cartridge. Let's see, let me catch up. Group is everything. I run plenty of open tables for strangers. It's usually all right. Depends on the city, though. Yeah. But yeah, there are some people who need to be spritzed with holy water. Love tactile bits. Also, a new setting can save you brain space. Chat. Despite the fact you only use a fraction in the game. Also, sometimes getting new optional rules for third party. Yeah. I'm going to write a GM toolbox for my game, but it's coming out long-winded, like a gaming philosophy lecture. Well, that's when you start a YouTube channel. Most of the clientele is likely working folk. Yeah, that's true. 5 p.m. on a weekday is a norm for gaming. Oh, is it really? Okay. Golden Sun. Oh, is that it? Oh, it is. It's right there. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I played a little bit of Golden Sun, but it was super fun. Games Plus. Hey, I remember Games Plus. Didn't you have a random song based on Bubble Bubble? Yeah, man. I didn't make the song, to be clear. It's a very old remix. Ice cream in the background. It's always a miniature. And be some mint chocolate chip ice cream, or just mint. Alright, so apparently there are some tabletop stores I need to go check out. Just a few, but I mean, what is 901 Games? Like, so you know how Google Maps has like the busy and frequency? Like, what is... They just get no business at this time. And they are open at that time. That's right now. It says they're open. Alright, this looks like a video game. Oh no, I lied. This looks like an old restaurant. I don't know if you've ever seen restaurants like this, but... Okay, they're playing some cards over there. Got some Warhammer minis there. Got some old toys you can buy. Business hours. 12 to 10 every day of the week. Pretty solid. 901 Games. Got some old toys and junk they selling. Things in my city I never knew existed. Oh, Kirby's Pinball Land. I haven't played this since I was a child. Yeah, the last time I played it, it was probably pretty new. I've been looking for a Verum hack table. Curious little war game. I don't know it. Biggest local game store has a tavern to help keep things afloat. See, that's... So there was this... I think he'd call it a beer arcade. Or a barcade. They had... You could rent a living room setup. But like, it was all in this big open thing. And the living room setup was this giant ass projector on the wall. And you had like... You could fit 16 people pretty easily in the living room setup with these big old couches and table. And you just tell them you rent, it was like $20 an hour or whatever. It was not much. And you just say, hey, I want a Super Nintendo with this game over here. Or I want a Sega Genesis with this game. I want a GameCube. And you could swap it out as much as you wanted during that time. And you just play on the projector and... Big, so everybody that went there was playing Mario Kart 64, right? It was awesome. And they had a bar there, so that's where they made all their money, right? Was the beer, because right across the street was a brewery. And they had some basic pizza, but like it was super good. And then it was just full of arcades that you could play for free. So like, you know, the attraction is the games, and those are dirt cheap and or free. And then you just have all the food stuff on top of it. And that's where you get your money. I think our Dynasty Warriors place list has died. Time to move on to Smash Bros. Little Zelda action. But it's closed now. But it was, and they were doing pretty good, and they were expanding, and then ownership changed and like shut down immediately. A lot of game store owners have full-time careers besides. Yeah, game stores don't make money. And yeah, no, it's unfortunate. Barnyard was also good for Game Boy Advance and GameCube. Scrat visited. Would Scrat get recognized? No, I was gonna say I gotta keep a low profile. Need to make more of an effort to visit my comic book store, especially if I can spectate on games. Yeah, tell them how to play their game right. Hobby shops aren't all that profitable. Yeah. Places like that, war games and card games are the main business. Yeah, especially tourneys, board games, and TTRPGs are the side thing. Mm-hmm. As sure as what it seems like. Like, obviously, I don't get to a lot of these shops for reasons we just discussed, but that was the impression I was getting. We have free play arcade place run by a cider company at a reasonable distance, $10 for a rest. There you go, see? Like that's... And they had good drinks at that beer arcade too. They had mixed drinks, and their menu was like all these... Like one of the drinks was called a Princess Peach, and another one was a Mega Man. So like the Princess Peach was good. It was like rum and peach flavor and another rum and some other kind of fruit. It was so good. You ever watch the Gamers movies, like Gamers Darkness Rising? I highly recommend it if you haven't. You can even stream it as a Let's Watch. I don't know that. Gamers movies? I feel like I just saw something about a Gamers movie, and it was like, the worst thing ever, but I think it was something different. Gamers, 2006. Gamer with Gerard Butler. I think that was the one I saw a thing for. Gamers movies are great. I'm an extra. You're an extra in Gamers 3. Look at you. We got a Hollywood star up in here. Zombie Orpheus is the YouTube channel. Okay. Gamers movie. Oh, wait. Zombie Orpheus. That almost sounds familiar. The Gamers, Hands of Fate. Extended edition. Full movie. Gamers Live. The Shadow Menace. Oh, this is like a series? Masters of the Metaverse. Old GM Ben's a Hollywood star, and I never knew it. Well, now I kind of want to hit the road and go check out some of these places, but not really. I might hit up that one that's like 15, 20 minutes up the road. I'm not getting out to Memphis, though. That's too far. I'm gonna talk my buddy into going to one of these. He likes going places, weird, obscure shops. Well, I think we'll call it quits there. We've been going for a while. We hung out. We have our current direction for YouTube. Like I said, it'll probably change in a week. Somebody will want something. Somebody will be like, "Oh man, I really like these types of videos you do." I'm like, "All right, I got to shift the whole channel again. New direction. Forget everything I just said." Oh, jeez. It's hard, guys. It's hard being indecisive and a mess. But anyway, I'm gonna bounce. So the last post I made said we're gonna have a stream tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time. Let's look at the email real quick. See if I got the official update. Where is my email? I thought I had it open in one of these 300 different tabs. YouTube updates. Oh, here we go. Here we go. YouTube analytic. No. As a creator, we'll have to walk you through our creative partnership boost. Okay, I don't really want to go to this, but that will be, yeah, okay, that's tomorrow at noon. All right, so we're gonna go Moss and Stone tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll make a YouTube post. I finally got my email confirming, so yeah, a little later than normal, but maybe we'll snag a Peter since that'll be about his lunchtime. The key to flexibility. Wargaming is too expensive. Magic Gathering, yeah. So TTRPG is super cheap. Everything else super expensive. Anyway, see y'all later. I will see you tomorrow. A late lunch. So bye. Have fun. I gotta find the stop button. I got too many tabs open. Okay, I found it. See y'all later. Pew.